It's Showtime with Princess Peach. Princess Peach is Showtime on the Nintendo Switch. This is a cartridge that I obtained from the Maryland Library System. I played the demo on this channel, I want to say, about 7 or 8 months ago. It had about, 50 minutes of content tops. It wasn't bad, but everything about the game just says rental. Go to Blockbuster Video, go to Hollywood Video, spend $5 and rent it. Alas, they're charging like $60 for this game. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I forget the sales data. I want to say this game sold at least 1, if not 2 million copies, thus proving that every first-party game on the Nintendo Switch that is marginally competent is going to sell millions of copies. This is the kind of AA game that people keep saying, "Oh, these video games are too big, they're bloated, there's too much DLC." And then Nintendo just said, meanwhile at Nintendo, they keep releasing stuff like this. These sorts of aggressively mid, very polished, but aggressively mid tier, $60 first party games. Again, they have more polish than you would expect from like an indie game, I would argue. But they are not on the level of something like a Breath of the Wild or a Mario Odyssey. Games that might not run at high frame rates. This game probably runs at 30 just by eyeballing it. I'm capturing it at 60 because I don't want to go through the trouble of changing it. So once I'm done compressing the video, I'll be able to set it to 30 frames a second as the Death Goddess intended. But this was, I want to say, again, Super Princess Peach was a game on the Nintendo DS that I never played. And I want to say that game was basically an extension of North America's Super Mario Bros. 2, where you could play as the princess in that game. She could float. Not in this game, at least not yet. Maybe later. So where are we going? We'll figure this out. Again, I played the demo. I'm trying to figure out how to get back to where I was. So we're going to try to play this game for an hour. And we might play a bit more later, but I'm not expecting to like this game very much. I've barely been reading up on reviews of it. It seemed like a rental that might be competent. But I got Super Mario Wonder sitting over here in the next room. I got Mario Party Superstars I could be playing. I just want to get this one out of my system. The Maryland Library System, there's a county, I think it's the wealthiest county in the state, Howard County. They have a library that's starting to rent more video games with no limits. You can rent as many games as you want with a 3-day limit. So I got like 10 Nintendo Switch games. So how do I get out of here? I'm not paying attention to the story. Fine, whatever. This is the hub area. I'm not paying attention to the story because this is a Nintendo game. Who gives a crap about the story? I'm sure someone out there is terribly interested in the lore of, Mario and Peach. I'm sure everyone knows all this fan fiction about, Peach's Pie from Mario 64. But I'm very curious. Like, this game is basically just her, she's like an actress. Like, she's like a stunt woman. Yeah, she's like a stunt woman in all these plays. So she's like a sword fighter. She's a cook. So it's sort of like it's not really mini games, but there's like a bunch of like side scrolling stages. I think there are belt scrolling stages actually, and some cooking mama stuff. A couple of other stages I don't remember, which is why I'm playing this game again. But again, I don't see any world where I would pay like $60 for a game like this. My backlog is too huge, and Lord help, God bless the parents out there. Because when I was a kid, I asked my parents for garbage video games. Now, some of them, like Ninja Turtles 1 and Ninja Turtles 2 on the Super NES, I knew they weren't going to be great, but I was a kid, so I kind of had to play them. So my parents spent $80 on terrible video games. And I feel bad for them because Lord knows my parents probably built up some credit card debt buying me presents. So I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. I'm sorry I asked you to buy me terrible video games to keep me occupied when I wasn't studying or watching movies or television. We didn't have cable TV for very long in my house, but we had a lot of video games. And by a lot, I mean we would get maybe 2 or 3 video games a year. Like one on my birthday, one on Christmas. Yeah, one on my birthday, one on Christmas. Sometimes an extra video game, depending on how saucy my dad was being. He would get me games I asked for, like Castlevania 3 and Mega Man 2, and I asked for those games without renting them because I would read Nintendo Power magazine. I would read those. My parents would buy strategy guides for Nintendo games. They would buy, and those strategy guides would also include buyer's guides. Like, hey, here's like 100 Nintendo games, and we rate them from 1 to 10. 5 being average, 10 being amazing. So, like, games like, or there would be games with these weird little weighted scoring systems. Like, I've read from a couple of them in the past. But, like, games like Double Dragon 2 and Bionic Commando and, what was it? Mega Man 2. They would be in these buyer's guides. So you could say, hey, parents, here's a game that your kids are going to like. It's got great graphics. It's got great music. There's unlimited continues like Guerrilla War. So it's probably too easy. There are games like Castlevania 2, which are really hard, but here are a few strategies. And we printed the text in reverse. So if you want to, we mirrored the text. So if you want to read these spoilers, you have to go to the back of the book, turn to the page where the tips are listed, look at the book in a mirror, and then you can read what the tip is. So you won't accidentally stumble on something like that. I might do that if I start publishing guides like on Reddit or something. I might find a way to do that. In the modern era, people usually wind up doing things like, what is it? They'll do ROT13 encoding, which is to say they'll take the letters. They'll use the letters of the text of the information you're giving, the spoiler you're writing, and then they'll just use a cipher to change the letters, and you just use that same decipher. You use a decipher or whatever to decode what the letters are, convert them to the real letters. You can read the actual information. But the idea is that you're getting information you're getting spoiler information, but it's presented in a way where you can't accidentally just stumble on it. What I could do is like probably do some screenshots and then reverse the screenshots, rotate the image, something like that, so that people can still download it if they want, but they would have to rotate. They would have to actively put that picture into some software that will rotate it for them. But anyway, the reason I'm going on that tangent is because as a kid, you would read these books, and these books would say, yeah, play this Castlevania game. It's really cool. Play Ninja Gaiden. It's really awesome. Play Life Force if you like shooters. Here's a 30-man contract. Here's a 30-man Konami code. That kind of thing. And as a kid, I remember, again, I'm probably going to make a whole bunch of videos about this later, but if I were to go over my NES collection, I played so much Bases Loaded. Again, I have videos of Bases Loaded on this channel. It's the one Nintendo game I played more than any other. Is it a great game? No. But as a 10-year-old, it was pretty good. It was my first baseball game. I played RBI Baseball eventually, but I liked the idea of Bases Loaded being this game where it looked like a television show. It looked like a TV presentation where you would play the role of the pitcher, and the camera would be behind the pitcher, and he would throw the ball towards the plate. And when that game came out, that was the spectacle of what Bases Loaded represent. It was like before NFL 2K, before the Madden games, before MLB The Show. The spectacle of getting a Nintendo game that looked like a television show was about as mind-blowing as it could have. For an American audience, that was kind of mind-blowing. Seeing these somewhat anatomically correct sprites, look like it drawn in a way that they looked like they would look on a television set. So being able to play a baseball game that looked like a television presentation or a broadcast presentation was kind of cool. Now, was it a good game? No, but I memorized it all the same. I'm not like the Mexican runner. Like I wouldn't be able to speed run that game because I don't play Bases Loaded like that. and I wasn't interested enough in the game to play much of it when I did make videos of Bases Loaded. But yeah, some of my most popular videos are Bases Loaded videos where I analyze how fast all the base runners move on the bases because they're not all the same, like that kind of stuff. But yeah, I played a lot of Bases Loaded. And I think the one of the other games that I got as a kid from my parents was Mega Man 2. So that was definitely a game that I played an awful lot of. Without renting it, I bought it. I asked for it sight unseen. It was a Christmas present, and I still play Mega Man 2 to this day. I do have the Mega Man Legacy Collection on PC, so I will play that game on this channel. Well, I'll do a longer video later. Mega Man 2 is included as part of the NES Classic that I have. I'll pull that out probably next year. I'm not going to play it. I have too many. My backlog's too ridiculous. So for the rest of, I'm playing this in December of 2024. So I'll most likely play that game. I'll most likely play my NES Classic, next year. Maybe on Christmas or New Year's Day, I'll pull it out. But I'm more likely to play something else. But what? Well, yeah, Mega Man 2. Yeah, the first NES games I bought were what was it? Bases Loaded because it looked interesting. Because my dad and I thought it looked interesting. It's like, hey, it's a sports game. This might be good for the kids. Um, Obviously we had Mario and Duck Hunt because we would go to Sears. We would go to Sears and we would see the Nintendo kiosk, and our dad finally hooked us up with a NES, a Nintendo Entertainment System. So yeah, we got Bases Loaded, Mario and Duck Hunt included. We got the action set. So Mario and Duck Hunt were included. And what was that? Yeah, we had Bases Loaded with it. There was one other game I want to say we got with it. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, well, it wasn't Tetris. That came later. But I want to say eventually we got our hands on Castlevania 2. I never played Castlevania as a kid. Wait, let me put it this way. No, that's right. As a kid, I played it at someone else's house who lived down the street from us. And I think I got Castlevania 2 after that because it was in Nintendo Power. Nintendo Power had that Ninja Turtles issue that I got. The first Nintendo Power issue I ever got, where they had the Ninja Turtles on the cover, the stupid little claymation sculpture they made. And they included the first ever Nestor Awards. You could see all the video games that were, it's like the Game Awards, right? And you could see all the games that, the Nintendo Power players, the Nintendo Power readers voted on as, the best graphics and sound, best play control, best challenge. And since it was the first ever Nestor Awards, you were basically voting on every Nintendo game that had ever been released since its North American launch. So I think it was in 1989 is when those awards were done. So you were basically having Super Mario Brothers. You were basically having Zelda 1 compete against Zelda 2. So for people who remember, Zelda 2 won the award for best video game. The player's choice, I guess. But Castlevania 2 won for best graphics and sound. So I think that was the reason why I asked my father to buy me that game. And I beat it multiple times as a kid, but I cheated because could you imagine a 10-year-old trying to play that game without any, strategy guides or Nintendo Power help? Now the maps, I was kind of able to figure out the maps on my own. The game wasn't that confusing in terms of the layout. But I did need help for the obvious reasons, because, hit your head against Deborah Cliff to make a hole. No. BS. Garbage. Trash. But again, I played a lot of that game. Was it great? And I like it. I like Castlevania too. But I can see that my familiarity with it probably affects my opinion of it. It's not. I would not put it in the top 50 NES games. But I would say it's an above average game. And if they made another version of it that was less obtuse, it would be a good game, I think. If I knew how to make a platformer, me being me, I would probably remake Castlevania 2 as like a top-down brawler, you know what I mean? Maybe not a brawler, but like a top-down action game. I win. Yep, I'm elegant. So this concept of her being a fencer is kind of cool. But again, the entire game isn't like that. Ah! Stupid. Waggity waggity. This is a saber or a rapier? I think the rapier is fatter. No, there's there's a little thin sword that they use in the Olympics. I forget what it's called. But I don't know if this is a saber or a rapier. I'll talk about my my OC video game characters later because one of them is a female swordswoman, a swordswoman. But we'll get to that later. Controls. Use B or A to dodge. Okay, sounds amazing. So whack on the B button, and then if you time the B button press properly, you'll do a bullet time dodge like Bayonetta. Oh, that reminds me, I have an Astral Chain. I'll have to play that later. But what I'll do is I'll set it up. I got like 5 or 6 games on the Nintendo Switch I have to set up. So I'll do like an ash can run where I don't record commentary. I just kind of play through the game while I'm watching NFL games. So I'll play some of that. Yeah, I'll play some of that. I think there are a couple of other Switch games I got to mess with. But I know there's a bunch of demos I want to play, and I know there are a bunch of Switch games I have to. Yeah, Ace Attorney. I'll set up Ace Attorney, do a separate video of that. Press Z or R. Strike a pose. There's nothing to it. Okay. Oh, okay. Waggity waggity. I mean, the controls are responsive. I mean, despite the 30 FPS frame rate. And it's kind of, like, it's not very sharp. Like, it feels like there's some kind of weird motion blur going on. But, I mean, it's fine. Maybe it'll run at 60 frames a second on the Switch Pro. But is this the kind of game you really care about? ZR, right? ZL or ZR. But, yeah, like, Castlevania 2 is one of the first games I owned. I remember asking Dad for Ninja Turtles, obviously, because every kid in America owned that game at some point. We hated it, but we played it. That's all you need to know about the first Ninja Turtles game on the NES. If you have the Cowabunga collection, I highly recommend sampling it. You were under no obligation to play through it, because I didn't. I beat it once with a Game Genie and a bunch of cheat codes. And I had a map. I had an NES Game Atlas that included a map of Ninja Turtles, which is a game that absolutely needed it. I want to say it was the same map that the Nintendo Power Counselors used. Because you remember back in the day, you could call Nintendo. There was a toll-free number. It was a long-distance number. But there was a toll-free number. Actually, no, there wasn't a toll-free. It was a long-distance number where you could speak to the customer support representative. So if your kid was stuck playing, Super Mario Brothers 2 and you didn't know how to beat Birdo, the Nintendo Power Counselor will say, "Hey, all you have to..." Oh, A is the jump. Yeah, A is the jump button. Okay. So you can do a jump dash. You can do a jump dodge. It's my turn. We good? Okay. Maybe we have to wait for it. We have to wait for him to swing, right? What is this, Dark Souls? Whoops. You have to wait till he swings. Got that wrong. This guy was not in the demo, I don't think. I tried to dodge. Yeah, I tried to dodge. Am I not timing it right? Uh-oh. Oh, so I'm probably collecting this crap and I'm paying a penalty if I die. Okay, fine. So I don't remember this. I guess I don't remember this guy being in the demo. We'll find out. It's probably just a vertical slice of gameplay, which makes sense. Hey, guys. See, that's cool. It's Marvin the Martian. Hey! So you have to wait till he move. You have to wait till he charges you, then press the attack button to dodge, with proper timing. Like I said, like Dark Souls. It's the Dark Souls of Princess Peach games. What you gonna do? Hit me. Not the right button. That's not it either. Hit me. Bad timing. See, I'm not doing it right. So what do I have to do here? I like how they steal one of the face buttons for like help. Shouldn't this be on the pause menu? So dodge. Okay, but the A button. Like I understand that. Come on, hit me. Did I take a hit there? Oh, I see. Okay. So you have to wait till he spits out the wave. Okay, I'm an idiot. You have to wait till he spits out the wave. I was trying to dodge the hammer, but you're supposed to dodge the wave. Because while the hammer's planted in the ground, you can jump over the wave and then finish him off. But yeah, it's not a very long Dark Souls like boss fight. It's just kind of, here's the one way to beat him. Do the one thing and you win. It's kind of hilarious. Up and attack. There you go. You can do a dragon punch. Can't play with the D-pad. Sure you can. Is there a female Shotokan player in any Street Fighter game now that I think about it? Because obviously, like, Chun-Li has a vertical kick, but she doesn't have, like, a dragon punch. Yeah, Makoto doesn't have a dragon punch. But she does have that, whoops. She does have that, what do you call it? The little throw she does where she punches. No, I'm not using a charm. Where she like vertically punches someone in the air. That's not a dragon because her feet don't leave the ground. So that's a different thing. Aha! Something you should know. I'm not left-handed. Actually, she is left-handed. Actually, no, she's using her left hand. See? Yes, she's doing her left hand. So she is left-handed, or maybe she's not left-handed. She's just handicapping herself. Possible. Can we do the dragon punch while jumping? No, we can't do the dragon punch in midair. That's unfortunate. Yeah, the dragon punch is the same height as a regular jump, so that's fine. And I can't do the dragon punch diagonally, so I can't cheat like that. Come get it. Ow! Let's do that. Stabby, stabby. Got him. That's right. That's what happens if I get all the dibbly-doos. I don't know. So anyway, like I said, asking my parents for games. I remember eventually I wound up buying my own games, like used games. I don't remember. I think it was like allowance money. So instead of teaching your kids to buy things like, essentials, you taught kids to buy luxuries, like video games. So I ended up buying a bunch of, like, used games. Definitely bought, what was it? What was it? Journey to Silius. I mean, no. The big one was, I remember buying Strider at the Toy Traders down in Lay Hill, Maryland. The first ever retro game. It wasn't a retro game store. Where's the boss? There we go. Waggity, waggity. I can't do the dragon punch. This is a belt-scrolling stage, not a... This is a belt-scrolling stage. Not a 2D platforming stage. I have no idea what she said, but I dodged it. Ow! Bastard. So I guess I'm just whacking these things for health. Feed me. Don't let him drop on you. Yeah, careful. Okay, there we go. That's what you need. Okay. That's how you do it. You have to wait for the wave, then press the attack button with proper timing. That's all. Alright, so that's not complicated. So I think this part was in the demo, I want to say. Yeah, this is breezy, to quote Jeff Gerstmann. This is a breezy game. Like some NES games back in the day. Like, seems all right. So how you wonder how you would curate a game like this, which is like it's supposed to be for all ages, but not too challenging. But again, it feels like a B tier Nintendo game, like second tier. Like this is the junior varsity first party Nintendo game. Like your Luigi's Mansions and your what else? Your Zelda Echoes of whatever. That Zelda Echoes game. Echoes of Wisdom, I think. I will play that game eventually. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get my hands on it until next year, I bet. There's a slim chance I'd be able to play it before the end of the year. I'm not really going out of my way to get it. But I know it's like Mario Odyssey, which I do not have Mario Odyssey here, by the way. But there is a slim chance that I'll be able to get my hands on that game in the next year or so. Like no rush. Like Link's Awakening, nah, I might play it again eventually. I don't know. I got it. I played it for 2 hours on this channel. Okay, I got it out of my system. I'm fine. And I have no interest in playing the Game Boy game really. But if I had it, I would probably tool around with it for a couple hours. But again, I grew up playing Zelda 1 and 2. I remember liking Zelda 2 more than the first game actually. But I need to sit down with Legend of Zelda, and I'll probably do it next year, and just play Legend of Zelda. Jeff Gerstmann literally just played it on his Twitch channel. I think it was after Thanksgiving. But yeah, like Zelda's one of those games that's like always like I've played it before. I don't know if I've beaten it before, but I know I've played it a lot when I was a kid. I used to own it. But the version that I bought was like it was a used copy I bought from Toy Traders in Lay Hill, Maryland. But again, I wasn't really into it. I think I rented Zelda 2 a bunch of times. I remember liking it more than Zelda 1 because I liked the side-scrolling platform action. But that's me. I was a kid. Like Zelda 1's fine, but I think I'm better able to appreciate Zelda as an adult than when I was a kid. And not because I think it's because I'm an adult. I have more tolerance for what Zelda 1 is trying to be, because it's not an action game. Because in my mind, Zelda 2 was an action game that was traditional. So as a kid, it made more sense. Zelda 1 isn't really that kind of game. It's a real-time action game, but it's not really like that. Back in a second. I gotta do some real-life stuff. Okay. Real life is done. Back to video games. So we're supposed to go in here, right? Yeah, is this a Cooking Mama part? I don't remember what this was about. So doing a bit of Dark Souls, maybe doing a bit of what? Battle Chef Brigade. Yeah, like this game is. That's what I mean. Jeff Gerstmann played a few games on the NES that he would call breezy. Mario 2 is certainly one of those games. Arkeistas Ring is probably the best example of that. You can blow through that game like 2 hours, but you have to replay it twice. So it's like a 2 hour grind. The game is like no challenge at all, really. I want to say GamePro reviewed that game when it came out, and they gave it a beginner difficulty rating because you play it for an hour and a half and you barely even take any damage. But then there's like this stupid massive difficulty spike, like an hour and a half into the game. It's like insta kills basically. It's like wait, should you like ramp up to that? There we go. So we got the things. Okay, we're fine. So she's an Olympian. So what is she? She's a fencer. She's a rhythmic gymnast. What else is she? Well, there is no speed cooking. But yeah, I mean, like it's like a game like this could be like. Is this like Wonder Momo 2023? Is that what this is? I mean, because was Wonder Momo like a rhythm game? Because I mean, I was told it was a game where you were like an idol singer and like the people were attacking you from the left and right. So I guess it was like Kung Fu in a way. And why is Namco not re-releasing that game? Well, I mean, it was an arcade game only, I want to say. But I want to say they re-released Wonder Momo on some Japanese arcade collections, because you know how it is. Back in the PS1 or the PS2 era, they would re-release old arcade games, emulate them, of course, or sometimes they would actually just straight up port them. Sometimes they would just straight up port them. I'm trying to think of an example of an arcade game that was ported to a PS1 or whatever, but I think they might have just emulated them. Of course, in the modern era, you know, they just emulate the games. They emulate games all the time, like the Cowabunga collection. Again, I've said this multiple times. The Cowabunga collection is a good collection of bad video games. Like, I think the only genuinely good video game in that collection is the Super NES Tournament Fighters game, which I played on this channel on original hardware. That game is hard. So it's probably a little bit harder on the Cowabunga collection because the input latency makes the game a little bit less responsive. But I can confirm the original arcade game or the original Super Nintendo cartridge played with a Super Nintendo controller is really hard on the default difficulty level. Like, it's way harder than Street Fighter 2. I would say it's probably as hard as honest. Actually, I would argue it's a little bit harder than Street Fighter 2 Turbo is on the Super Nintendo. It's not as hard as Super Street Fighter Turbo in the arcade, but it's close. It's really hard. Like, if you want to get curb stomped in single player mode against AI characters, play that game. It will make you hurt. ZL. Don't remember this part. Don't remember this part in the demo. But again, it's probably a vertical slice. But yeah, like I think a game like this mainly boils down to like how are the controls? Like, how are the jumping controls? You know, how's the speed of your character? How responsive are your movements? It's a decent little. It seems like a decent little game, but it's not. It's not. There's not a lot to it. You know what I mean? It's I mean like those old arcade. Like, you remember how those old arcade games were really tough, but as long as you had enough quarters, you could have a lot of fun with it. I guess this kind of feels like an arcade game that's not challenging in any way. We're just gonna mash on that B button. Whoops, I puffed it up too much. Walkity, 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 walk. You could just pick it, just make it, just must press the digitolium. Do 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 do. Rise up. Works for me. So we just mash on the button, just let go eventually. Good enough. Let's get another one of these. Hopefully those things don't spoil if I let them sit out on the counter. You have to mash on the button. I can't just hold it down. Yeah, yeah, they got rid of it. Okay. So it just disappears after a while. Okay. So if you want the highest score, you got to keep it going. Got to pick the right one before it disappears. Still a better game than Panic Restaurant, am I right? Never play Panic Restaurant. But that was like one of the last NES games that ever got released, and it's like, you know, $1,000. Yeah, I want to say it's like 1,000. Yeah, I want to say that game costs like 500. I think that game costs like $400 at least. It's like Little Samson. Yeah, like Little Samson on the NES costs like $900. I saw a dude sell a complete inbox version of that game. Whoops, I didn't get a high enough score, so I lost a heart. So there is a penalty. Whoop, missed. There we go. So I gotta get that meter up to a reasonable level. Otherwise I die, I guess. Or I just take another hit. Let's keep it going. Does it matter, like, do I get a higher score if I release the button sooner? I don't know. You don't even have to cook it. There's no easy bake oven here. It's just... Oh, so those guys help you make something different more quickly. Okay. That's cool. So they start the rising before you get there. Then you finish it off. That's cool. So you can go... Yeah, so that's the one that they can help you make more quickly. Yeah, they help you make something bigger more quickly. Okay. Whoops. Overdid it. Running out of time. This is not going to go well. Oh, we did it. We did it. We did it. We got 1 star on the meter. Come back. Come back. Ah, bastard. Anyway. Anyway. So I did fine that time. I got 1. So I mucked 1 up, and I think I left a couple behind. But that's okay. So you can play better if you want. That's fine. You know, whatever. It's that kind of game. So these were cookies? Well, I guess they were like not shortbread cookies. They were like, you know, they're like those little flat cake cookies, those little frosted loft house cookies. They taste really good though. Those things are literally good. Those things are like diabetes. They are literally diabetes in a plastic tub. They are the greatest, but they are so indulgent. Like you if I bought if I bought a box of those, they would disappear in like an hour. So I don't buy them. Your boy has to keep his girlish figure. Well, I guess my Apple figure. Which reminds me, once my delicate wrists are fixed, I need to get back to doing my push-ups again. Because your boy was able to get 50 of those before my wrist started going bad. So I probably need to pay more attention to my form. But yeah, I was really pushing those push-ups, man. I was getting it in. Like before Thanksgiving, I was getting it in. So I gotta get back to that. Hold the A button. Oh, I did the wrong thing. I did the wrong pattern. Yeah, I did the wrong pattern. It's supposed to be those 3 vertical lines. Okay, so I did it. That's not it. Hold the A button. I think I screwed that up. I guess I did all right. I think I just did it wrong. That's okay. So look at the top right-hand corner of the screen. See if you can match that pattern. Whoops. I left the cake. And we need 1 in the center. And we're done. So you kind of want to match the pattern. That was not amazing, but whatever. I like her braids. Her braids are pretty cool. That's neither here nor there. So hold down the B button. Then when you're done, let's get 1 in every corner. So we're making the Dallas Star, huh? And we're good. Hold the A button down. And we're good. So we have time for at least 2 more, I bet. So what pattern we got here? Oh, yuck. Oh, I did that wrong. So we go down, then around, then down. That's not right, but we're gonna go with it. Okay, so I got that right. I'm close. This looks right to me. Well, it has to be up here. That was the problem. I had to get it all the way out to the edge. So that was terrible. But I eventually got something approximating the pattern they wanted. Wasted a bunch of sugar, though. Don't know what to tell you. Oh, yuck. Oh, this is harder than I expected. Not even close. It's terrible. No, of course it didn't. But we'll be okay. We still got our bonus score, so we're fine. We got into the blue range of that meter on the right side, so we're good, I guess. So I want to say this is the end of the demo. So we're going to keep playing, obviously, because we have the full game now. Isn't there supposed to be, like, a hub area where I can, like, choose different challenges? Yeah, the cakes are amazing. I'm amazing. I'm Super Princess Peach. Actually, it's not Super Princess Peach, but anyway. Have I mentioned how many times have I mentioned that there weren't many female protagonists in video games when I was a kid? It took us a while to get there. In Japan, there were a couple of games like Ninja Princess, but this game's a bit different because we're in the era now where it's a bit more common to have these female protagonists. So we're getting games like this because, I mean, unfortunately, like I said, games like, we finally got a game where you control Zelda, right? Like, when was the last time we were able to control Zelda in a Legend of Zelda game? Maybe the CDI games, I don't know. Yeah, man. I mean, the joke for a long time was the Legend of Link, and you were playing as Sheik from I think you were like, yeah, it's like when Super Smash Brothers came out, which I have back there, by the way. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I want to say Sheik was the character I played a lot. I played a lot of Sheik when I was playing Mario Brothers. She's basically a kunoichi, right? So I would play the Legend of Link, where Zelda has to rescue Link. I guess the argument could be that you're just a kunoichi and you're saving Prince Link, I guess. Okay, I don't know the Zelda lore. Did Link and Zelda ever get married in any of those stories? I mean, I think she just rescued it. I think he just rescued her, but they like didn't do anything, or they didn't do anything. It was just thank you for saving me. So I guess they became bestest buddy. Then I guess they got friend zoned. I don't know. I mean, I know the stories behind Link. I'm not gonna indulge those right now. Cowgirl. I'm a gold cowhand from the Rio Grande. So a cow princess? Well, she taught herself to be a cow. We didn't know her many strategies. So what kind? Well, this is not in the demo, so I'm curious how this is gonna play out. Wait. Yeah, it should be a lot warmer here. Maybe I should turn my heater towards me. It got colder than I expected. Which reminds me, I gotta check my heating bill because I'm not turning up the heat that much. Where it's like in the 61, 62 range. But yeah, it's not great. You gotta keep the heater on most of the night. Not most of the night, but just I don't want to get up at 2. I don't want to get up at 3 in the morning again because I was cold because I forgot to turn the heater up to above 58. I like it cold so I can get to sleep, but eventually it's got to be in the 60s. Eventually it's got to be in the 60s before I fall asleep. But then it can drift back down to the high 50s while I'm sleeping. But let's go back to talking about video games. Which reminds me that I remember Konami made that Lone Ranger game on the NES back in the early 90s, but Jeff Gerstmann really liked that thing. Like to me it looked kind of like it looked incredibly average, like ambitious but average because they were like doing like top down. They were like doing like top down stuff. They were doing like town exploration. They were doing side scrolling platform stages. There was an overworld that would trigger random encounters with enemies. And those random encounters they'd be like Zelda 2, I believe. Which reminds me, yeah, I saw what was it? I saw what was it? The Nextlander crew play Zelda 2 using a game save that Brad Shoemaker had for like decades since he was a kid, I want to say. And he tried to beat the game, and that last hour of Zelda 2 is just a freaking gauntlet, man. It is just miserable. Like it's not as bad as Howard Phillips said that the Japanese Super Mario 2 was, but it's rough. I guess the argument is that Mario 2 is hard. The Japanese Mario 2 lost levels are hard, but they're always hard. Whereas Zelda 2 is only really stupid hard when you get like halfway through the game, I would argue. But I mean, that's the apocryphal story. I think he's already. I think he and Gail Tilden were interviewed by the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo back in 2024. I'll double check. I haven't. I remember I saw it on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure I saved it to my playlist. I'm supposed to read most of that because, again, all the video game historians out there, all the hobbyists like me, you kind of want to at least start there to kind of see what the official story is. And you can kind of like dig a bit deeper to see, what is Gail Tilden not going to tell us? But she's like in her 60s now, I think. But yeah, she was the editor in chief of Nintendo Power magazine. Previously the Fun Club magazines. I think her whole thing was that she was a part of part of Nintendo's marketing crew. And one of the ways you wanted to market Nintendo was to help people play the games, to tell them what games you should buy and give them some strategies so that they can actually play these games because you can say whatever. Look, I get it. Like NES games were toys for kids usually. I mean, they were presented as such. Okay, John Cena. So we'll come back and deal with that later. What's in these barrels, Mom? Mommy juice. What's in these barrels, Princess Peach? Yeah, mommy juice, basically. Oh, yes, we have to whack them so they get Yes, we have to whack them so they get the Popeye spinach power, I suppose. So am I finally a cowgirl now? Okay, how am I gonna look? Oh, some Calamity Jane or Calamity Peach in this case. Yeah. No milk jokes, please. This isn't that kind of Japanese game. God, I bet there's so much DeviantArt crap of this image. I am not interested in seeking that out right now. I have so many. I do not want. God, man. I do not want to know what they're doing to Princess Peach in this outfit. I'll just put it that way. Don't remember, kids. Never do an image search on a female video game character on the internet. Never, ever. At least not when your parents are around, I guess. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like I said, this game seems breezy. Breezy enough. But yeah, like I said, the reason the libraries exist is so I can play games like this for free instead of shelling over $60 for them. Though I probably had to waste a couple of dollars in gas to make the round trip to the library to get this thing. Yeah, but I had to add some books and games I had to bring back. So every time I go there, I bring back a whole stash. This might be the best stash of video games they've ever had because they had what was it? Smash Brothers Ultimate, Mario RPG, which I also got. Hey, it's Epona. Okay, I won't do the song. The song that I always do in these video games. The song that I always do on this channel whenever someone rides a white horse. I will not do the song because that's not appropriate for this game. Ow. It's like Sunset Riders. Give me the loot. Hi-ho Silver, or Ebony in this case. I know how I feel about the dark horses being evil. Maybe they're nightmares. Oh, whoops! Whoops! Oh, well, that sucked. Oh, well. What's that word? Yeah. Well, let's not get bucked because we're riding the horse. We definitely don't want to get bucked riding this horse. Gotcha. Here on the mesa, high above the clouds. Okay, I can't throw the whip behind me. There's a world apart from all the rest on the mesa. They're the real cowboys, holding up the law and order and living by the code of the West. Well, I'm not done. Cleaning up the territory, keeping evil on its toes. Takes a special breed of rights, bold and brave heroes. Whoop! Whack! So he's like a Mario boss. You grab the projectile, then you throw it back at him. We'll do it 2 more times and we're done, right? Whoops! Careful. Like I said, don't get bucked. What? So I have to dodge the bullets, the bullet bills, the very sluggish bullet bills, and then grab the barrel, throw it back at him. Sure. Cool. Cool. By the way, Calamity Jane used guns, but I guess Princess Peach is too classy for that. She's not Lara Croft or anything. Wackety wackety. So this game isn't. I mean, I was worried this game might be a QTE fest, so thankfully it's not. But it has other problems. Like I said, it ain't that deep. Whoops, I had to dodge that. So I threw the barrel at the bullets. Whack. Just have to dodge the bullets, then throw the barrel back at them. Because you can throw the barrel at the bullets, but they won't reach him. So I guess I'm fine with them turning the boss fights into these top-down thingies instead of making them into 2D challenges. Whoop! Should have dodged it again. He hit me with another spread shot. So there we go. There we go. Now I can hit him. So I had to dodge two waves instead of just one that time, and that should kill him. It's a Mario game, so three attacks always kills him in a Mario game. Again, unlike say God of War, boss fights don't last forever in these Mario games. I would say the Zelda games are kind of the same, right? But the idea is that you can't really speed run it. You're just supposed to dodge, then wait for your opening, like in most Mario games. So that makes sense. Are we giving this thing another hour? We might do one more stage. We can probably do one more stage. It's getting kind of late, so I'm not going to... Actually, yeah, it's getting kind of late, so we're going to have to call it. So we'll do another hour of this game, I guess. Yeah, this game's fine. It's breezy, but it ain't that deep. So I recorded this on a mounted Nintendo Switch, obviously, plugged into my J5 Create 4K UHD capture device, plugged into my quad-core Celeron Windows 10 education laptop, capturing this footage at 60 frames a second. Using the Windows 10 camera app, it's probably best for me to reduce that to 30 frames a second, because I'm fairly certain that this game is only in... Whoops, I didn't want that. I didn't want that. I don't want that. Let me give it back to him. Yeah, we'll return that. We don't want to cheat. So I guess that's your easy mode. You have a heart charm to give you a bit more energy, I suppose. New actors, yeah. So again, it's the opposite of, Wolfenstein 3D, don't hurt me, mommy, that kind of thing. Like, I like the idea they give you the option. Like I said, for a more casual gamers, you just kind of want to chill and vibe, play through this game with their kids, kind of lightly help them. Oh, right, cosmetic upgrades, amazing. Stella, who are you calling? Oh, you mean my companion, I guess. Well, we're not shopping. What kind of female protagonist do you think we are? We don't shop for clothes in video games. What kind of game do you think this is? This isn't an Imagine, fashion video game. I've never played that game on this channel. Yeah, those Imagine games were pretty big on the DS, weren't they? You like those Imagine... Yeah, I think when Nintendo Dogs was a thing, those Imagine games were a thing. Were they good? I doubt it. But since I can't play the DS games on this channel without downloading ROMs, so I won't. But, yeah, that's the reason I haven't bought a DS yet. My backlog is too ridiculous, and I can't capture this. I can't capture this stuff. But I did get a Super Game Boy for like $20. It wasn't a Super Game Boy 2, which has the proper, the proper speed. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay. I'm too far away from the fans. The space heater is pointing in the wrong direction, so I'm a bit colder than I should be. So we'll get it hotter at some point. Yeah, because I wanted this tiny space heater to heat up my bedroom for situations like this, where it's cold outside, but I don't want to heat up the entire apartment. So this will use like a fraction of the this will use a fraction of the electricity. I should probably close that door, but anyway. Yeah, it's that time of year where you have to close the door. You play all your video games in one room. Nope. Yeah, this time of year I would play all my video. I would like stay in the smallest room in my apartment and just play video games. We're not gonna do that. So I got 10 stars there, I think. I don't know. I didn't get the bow tie, but whatever. Did I get all 19 stars here? I can't tell. I don't know what that means. Maybe that'll be explained later. Not gonna worry about it. So I got yeah. So I guess I have 19 stars total. I got 10 in that room on the left, and I got 4 on the room on the right. So I guess I got 15 then. 5. Yeah, there are 10 stars here in these rooms. Okay. So I guess that's depending on how many hits I take. I think I have to find them. You have to find them. In the levels, I just have to find the stars. So that might be something you can go back and do later. All right, so this game might be all right. Sounds like the kind of game I could play like for an hour. I might be able to play for a couple more hours. Like I said, breezy, but not thrilling. Like doable. Like you could play this game. Is it worth $60? Of course not. But Nintendo being Nintendo. Uh, wiki. Nintendo being Nintendo, they're charging $60 for this. It's not slop. I'm not gonna call this slop, but it ain't that deep. So again, if this were a $20 game, like those LOL surprise games or those Lego games, like I would be okay with that. But this is Nintendo. They know they can charge $60 for this. There's an entire conversation to be had about Nintendo selling these pretty unremarkable. They're polished in terms of presentation. These presentationally polished, but ultimately aggressively mid games for like all audiences. Is this better than Animal Crossing? Yeah, it's less tedious, but it's not thrilling. So we'll see how it goes. So I played the demo. Demo was fine. Didn't make me want to buy the game. I'm renting the full game now from the Maryland Library System. It's fine. Makes me want to play Smash Brothers, which I'll get around to playing eventually. Look, I have the Wii U version. So, yeah, I have the Wii U version of Super Smash Brothers, right? I think I have Smash Brothers Brawl on the Wii, and I might have Smash Brothers Ultimate on the Wii U, which has higher input latency. Unfortunately, we'll work with that later. There are a bunch of Wii games I'm supposed to be playing, but I want to get some more content. So I guess I'll play some of the Wii games. I'll tee up some of the Wii games during the football games on Sunday, and then I'll end up recording videos with them later. So I'll use the football. I'll use the football games as an excuse to get my Wii set up properly, so I can play those old GameCube games I got. Beautiful Joe, Burnout, and one other game I know I have. Yeah, I got a Harvest Moon game that I'll probably end up playing later. I'm into Harvest Moon now because I played Light of Hope on the PS4, so I'm playing a bunch of old Harvest Moon games to see if they don't stink, even though I don't really like a lot of them so far. But Light of Hope is okay. It's better than this. So you could pay $60 for this, or you could pay like $15 for Light of Hope, and it's arguably a better game. I would say. So we're done. Princess Peach Showtime. Video number. I guess we'll call this video number 1, even though it's not the demo. It's the full game. So we'll be back.